Don't you know who this is? It's me, Paul! Hurry up and answer me, right now!
Paul, what the heck is this all about? Just what do you think you're doing talking to me like that, huh?
Well, I should be asking you the same thing, Ginny! What kind of way is that to talk to your husband when he just wants to talk to you, huh? You really need to learn your place. Do you know that? One of these days, that mouth of yours is gonna get you in trouble.
First of all, you are not my husband, Paul. You and I are divorced now, so you don't get to call yourself that or talk to me like that. Do you understand me? We got divorced 3 years ago, and it's high time that you accept that and quit talking to me like this. Even if we were married, it still wouldn't be a good way to talk to your wife.
Oh, please. You really think that you can talk to me like this when you hardly do any work around the house? All you do is complain about being tired to get out of doing work, but somehow I'm supposed to be the bad guy here? Besides, I'll have you know that unlike when you and I were married, I'm loving being married to your little sister, Debbie. She's much kinder to me than you ever were. Also, you should know that she's just a better wife than you ever could be. And that's why the two of us got married after I was promoted to the head of my department. I need a wife of equal standing with my new position. And that's why I left you for her.
What are you talking about? Don't act as if that's why you left me for my sister. Besides, I heard that you were only promoted to that position last month. Isn't that right? It certainly took you long enough to get there, didn't it? Well, fine. Big congratulations from me. Is that what you wanted to hear?
That's right. I did take a long time, but all of my hard work finally paid off, and my company has finally recognized all that I've given to them. And just how did you find out that I was promoted anyways, huh? Have you been talking to people about me or something like that? Still trying to keep up with my life?
You wish that I had any interest in what was going on with you anymore. But unfortunately, one of the worst side effects of being your ex-wife is that everyone wants to talk to me about what you're up to. So I just happened to hear through the grapevine about your little promotion, if you must know. Although I really have no idea what your company was thinking. You must put on quite the different face for them there.
There we go. I knew that you were just jealous of me. You don't like it when anything good happens to me, and you never have. You really are just a mean, jealous woman, aren't you? Hey, what the heck is the matter with you, huh? Don't you ignore me! How dare you do that to me? Just who do you think you are? You don't get to do that! We weren't through talking! You answer me right now! I am not going to sit here and take this from you!
What do you want from me, Paul? Why on earth would I talk to you about this? What is there even to talk about? I have nothing to say to you. You and I haven't talked to each other for all the 3 years since you and I got the divorce. Did you really just break that nice, quiet, peaceful streak to brag about your promotion to me?
Of course that isn't all I wanted to talk to you about. The truth is that something has happened to your sister's back. She's not doing so well.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? What do you mean that something has happened to my sister's back? What happened? And what do you mean that she isn't doing so well? I don't get what you're trying to say with that.
I mean that something has happened to her lower back, and now she's having serious problems being able to move around. Does that make enough sense to you? She's actually in the hospital being looked at right now, but she can't even leave the house or her hospital without help moving around now. It really is tough seeing her this way. Things are really, really bad right now.
I see. Well, I didn't know that was going on with Debbie. This is the first that I'm hearing about it right now. Prior to this, I had no idea that she was having back problems and had trouble moving.
Well, that's what's happening now. She's having back problems and having serious mobility issues. So that's why I'm making her your problem and not mine.
What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean that you were making her my problem and not yours? What is meant by that? Please explain what those words in that order is supposed to convey to me, Paul.
What are you talking about? Do you really need me to spell out the meaning of those words that I just sent you in text form? Do you really need me to explain to you what I was trying to tell you with that message? What I'm saying is that it's obvious that your sister is better than you in everything, right? Surely we can agree on that first. And I think we can also agree that your sister has done a much better job of making me happy as my wife than you ever did when you and I were married. And so anyways, she's gonna be your problem, because you're going to donate part of your body to help cure her now, okay?
Excuse me? You think that I'm going to donate part of my body to my sister? And just when did you decide that for me, huh? Because this is the first that I'm hearing about any of this.
Well, it's not like I even wanted to come to you to make you do this or anything. But the doctors are saying that the donor has to come from the same family. So I don't know who else could do this but you. Come on. Your sister can barely even move now. And you're really going to get hung up on being a donor for her? I mean, are you really going to let what happened between you and us in the past affect her health in the present?
I'm sorry, but I really have no idea what you are going on about at all right now, Paul. I mean, I don't even have a sister, so...
What in the world are you talking about? You know that saying something like that isn't going to just make it come true through magic or anything, right? Are you seriously just going to let one of your family members suffer like this? You're being so selfish right now! I can't believe you!
Well, I haven't really heard anything about any of this from my sister. So until I hear it from her, I have no intention of just going along with whatever you have to tell me.
So you're really just going to let your sister go on suffering like this then? How could you do something like this? You know that you're both family!
Well, it doesn't sound like Debbie needs me. Otherwise, she would certainly have called on me already, right? So if she needs my spinal fluid or whatever, I don't care. I don't plan on sparing an ounce of my body for her.
Oh, come on! So you're really fine just letting your poor little sister go on like this? How can you be so cruel right now? I've never met someone so heartless!
Well, then you had better stop wasting your time trying to ask me for these kinds of favors, Paul. Especially since it's all your fault that I'm about to get really, really busy now. So just leave me alone and let me concentrate.
What does that even mean? No, I mean seriously, what do those words that you just texted me even mean? I don't get it. What do you mean, because of me, things are going to get busier for you? I don't understand what it is you mean by that. What do you mean that I'm going to make things even more busy for you?
I suppose it really is just better if you don't know what I am talking about now that I think about it.
I don't get what you mean by that. What are you talking about? I just wanted to talk to you about being a donor for your little sister, and now you're going on about something else!
Well, I already told you that I'm not going to be donating anything to my little sister. Besides, I don't even know if there is going to be a surgery.
What are you talking about? Of course there's going to be surgery! How could you even try and say that there wouldn't be a surgery when you didn't even know about any of this until I came to tell you about your sister's health problems and how she's having trouble moving now?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe what you did! I mean, really? Just where do you get off, huh? Why would you do something like this to me? I thought I told you to never ever tell our parents that I cheated with Paul and stole him from you. Why in the world did you have to go and tell them about what happened between the three of us now, after so much time had passed? It's all your fault that they won't talk to me even though I'm in the hospital right now. You are totally screwing me over right now.
Ah, Debbie. And here I was worrying that you would be too weak to even be able to respond to me since you were, as you said, in the hospital right now and trying to get a hold of people. But I think that you should be grateful to me instead. After all, I kept quiet to our mom and dad about how you and Paul had an affair and ran off to get married, didn't I?
to hear anything from you, you horrible, evil, no-good, backstabbing witch! If anyone should be getting pity right now, it's me. Don't you know that I'm in the hospital right now? Now, you are going to tell me right now why you waited this long to tell Mom and Dad about what Paul and I did that led you to getting divorced and us getting married, okay?
Well, that's just it. I think that you did something far worse to me than what you're going through right now. Besides, it's not like I lied to our parents or anything like that. All I told them was that you and my then husband Paul started to have an affair with each other. Then I explained how I found out that you two were seeing each other behind my back and that was why I was going to divorce Paul. Then I explained to Mom and Dad how after Paul and I got a divorce because I discovered him having an affair with you, that you two got married. Is that really so bad to tell our parents when I'm only telling them the truth about their children?
But, I mean, I didn't think that you were going to tell them that Paul and I were having an affair behind your back, and that is the reason why the two of you decided to have a divorce after you discovered what was going on between Paul and I. I thought that you were going to keep it a secret from our family so that no one suspected anything bad about me. Especially not that I'm the kind of person to sleep with my sister's husband, thus leading them to break up so that I could then marry the very husband that I was having an affair with and who used to be married to my sister.
Well, that is why I said that you should be grateful that I had kept this a secret for so long. Because Mom and Dad were quite surprised to find out that you and Paul having an affair was the reason that we got our divorce, and that after Paul and I did get our divorce, that the two of you decided to get married.
But because you told Mom and Dad about me sleeping with Paul and your divorce and then me marrying Paul, now Mom and Dad aren't going to help me out with the money that I need to afford my surgery for my back. You are going to be the reason why I might not be able to get my surgery for my back that is preventing me from being able to move freely and is the reason why I'm in the hospital in the first place. But we're sisters! I thought that we were supposed to help each other. But instead, you had to go and betray me by telling Mom and Dad about how I slept with your husband behind your back and how that led to you and your husband getting a divorce, which then led to him and I getting married instead.
Well, I don't care how you see this situation, because the fact of the matter is that you are not my sister.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean that I'm not your sister? Are our parents married or not? How can you say that you and I aren't sisters when we are part of the same family? That is what being sisters means.
No, the only reason that you think you can call me your sister is because our parents got married. But there is no other reason than that I should have any connection to you at all. We aren't even connected by blood, so I don't understand how you can say that we're family when that isn't even true. Not only are we not connected by blood, but no sister of mine would ever sleep with my husband, thus leading him and I to getting a divorce, and then after that having the guts to marry that same husband. I remember when I found out about the two of you and first threatened to tell Mom and Dad that you and Paul were having an affair with each other behind my back. You told me to butt out, and that it didn't matter since we weren't really related, remember?
But, sure, I may not have wanted you to butt into my life when I was having that affair with Paul behind your back, but now I really, 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 really need you.
You really have got some nerve coming to me for help after you were sleeping with my husband behind my back, and then the two of you had the gall to get married after we got a divorce. And now you really think that I'll just give up part of my body to save yours? It just is not going to happen, okay?
Are you out of your mind? That just proves that you really do want to kill me. Don't you realize that this is going to make you a murderer? By not helping me, you're doing the same thing as killing me, got it? I mean it. If you don't donate what I need to fix my back, which is causing me health problems and is the reason why I'm in the hospital right now, then I could really die.
Hey, Ginny! What the heck is the matter with you? Are you seriously not going to help out your sister? The doctors figured out exactly what it is that's wrong with her. It's just a little bit of your spine, you know?
Well, I simply can't give her anything. I've already said this.
But you two are connected by blood! If you don't do this for her, then no one else can! The least you can do is have a doctor look at you to see if the transplant would be possible! Don't you want to save your little sister? We already asked your parents to get checked, and neither of them are going to be able to donate.
Well, I'm afraid that there really just isn't a point in asking me for help with this.
But don't you want your sister to live? I know that you two have issues, but you don't want her to die, right?
I'm sorry, but I don't intend to sacrifice myself for my sister. I don't care who it is, I just wouldn't do something like that. Especially not if they were my cheating sister and ex-husband asking for my help.
Hey, come on! There's no need to talk about us that way! That happened a long time ago!
You really are an idiot, do you know that? I wish that you would have just stayed in your small hometown and never left. But anyways, I am telling you that I just can't donate anything to my sister, so there's no point in even getting examined. Don't you know that I'm already donating my spinal fluid to my mom? I've been doing this since before we got married.
What are you talking about? I didn't know that you were giving that for your mom!
Well, why did you think I was going to the hospital so regularly? My mom also had back problems and needed a donor who would be compatible with her body. That's why I would go to the hospital to donate what I could to my mom. It was also why I was so tired around the house all the time and not able to clean well. But I know that I told you all about this. You can't say that you didn't know, just that you weren't listening.
So that's what all those hospital bills were about. I was always wondering about that.
I really am sick of having to deal with you. You only ever care about things that have to do with you.
What do you mean by that? It's not like I was never kind to you!
When I was feeling especially bad and bedridden with a fever, you were telling me to quit using the fever as an excuse to get out of doing my work. You berated me about how hard you work for us and how I never do anything and only care about myself. But you were the selfish one. I was just trying to rest in bed so that I could feel better and try to take care of the house.
But, I mean, how was I supposed to know that you were actually sick? Sure, you felt a little hot, but I thought that you just wanted to stay in bed all day and not do anything. Besides, I was only trying to help you. Everyone knows that a little light exercise can be good when you're sick.
You really think that I wanted to spend all day in bed hardly moving and feeling awful? I couldn't move because it was physically uncomfortable too. I was in real pain, Paul.
But, I mean, wait a second. Why am I even listening to this? This is clearly all an excuse that you just came up with right now. Just hand over your spine!
You really are an idiot, do you know that? I have no idea what I ever saw in you. But it's only thanks to the fact that Mom finally got treatment that I've been able to stop going into the hospital. Except now the doctors say that I've given so much to my mom that I really shouldn't be undergoing that procedure anymore at all. So even if I went into the hospital to get an exam to see if Debbie and I were compatible, it still wouldn't matter. The fact of the matter is that no doctor would approve of my donating anything to Debbie because of the risk it would pose to me.
So you're really going to try and use your own selfishness as an excuse to get out of saving your sister's life right now?
Yeah, I guess I am. I guess I will use my own medical condition to get out of a surgery, yes.
But then, why did you say any of this to begin with? If I had known that this was the case, I would have never asked you from the start!
You shouldn't have been coming to me asking for help in the first place, Paul. Besides, I would really start to worry about yourself, Paul. There are some big things coming your way, and soon you are going to be left with nothing. But don't worry, you'll only be getting what's coming to you. So good luck with that.
What the heck is that even supposed to mean? Don't you just leave after sending a message like that? I'm trying to talk to you here! Hey! Answer me right now! Ugh, you won't get away with this! What the heck is the matter with you, you evil woman? I know that you did this!
Oh my, I hope that you have a good reason for greeting with all this vitriol, Paul. This is no way to start a conversation with your ex-wife, you know.
Oh, shut up! I know that you did this! You're the one suing me, aren't you? I got your little court summons that you sent me. Are you seriously hiring a lawyer to use against me? You really have got some nerve! Do you know that?
Well, you see, in our state, it is perfectly legal for someone to sue another if they were at one time spouses and an affair happened. So yes, I am suing you. Do you have any other questions for me?
Well, what is this with timing, huh? You know that your sister's in the hospital right now. Why would you kick us when Debbie and I are already down? Don't you think that's taking things way too far?
I'm sorry, but this lawsuit is entirely from your own doing. If you and my sister hadn't done what you had done, then this wouldn't be happening. Although I suppose I did wait until the mood struck me to actually carry out the lawsuit. I suppose I was just waiting for the right opportunity to present it to you.
And you thought that it was okay to do this while your sister's suffering in a hospital?
And why should I show any mercy to you cheaters? You really think you deserve sympathy from anyone? But I wasn't just waiting for something like this. When we divorced, you were still just another drone in your office. Now that you've been promoted, your fall is going to be all that much sweeter.
Okay, I'm getting just a bit sick of talking about this affair. When are you going to get over it, huh? And what other choice did I have when you did nothing around the house all day?
I thought I already told you that I had a medical condition keeping me from being able to do that. And besides, what did you do but stay out all night and sleep in all day on your days off?
Oh, well, excuse me for having a real job and hours of overtime work. I guess I should have just let us become homeless instead.
You know, I think I finally figured out when it was that you and my sister started seeing each other. It was while I had that fever. I had to spend a couple nights in the hospital, and I remember you had called Debbie over to help move me. I may have had a fever and been slightly delirious, but I could see the sparks flying between the two of you. So was that when your affair started? While your wife was suffering in the hospital? Not only that, but you both had the guts to ask me not to tell my mom and dad about what the two of you had done.
What does it matter when it started? Was my sleeping or not sleeping with your sister going to fix you? Besides, you're just upset because I realized that my true love wasn't you, but your sister. And now you're just trying to carry out this petty revenge.
You have no idea the pain that you caused me when I caught you with my sister. From the day that I found out about you two, I swore to myself that I would make you pay. And every day since then has been waiting, biding my time. And when I heard that you had been promoted, I knew that was my chance. You thought that I was weak and lazy, so I used that to my advantage in crafting this plan. And after 3 years, the timing couldn't have been better. Not only had my own preparations been completed, but I heard that you were promoted. And then on top of that, my sister ends up in the hospital. It seems that the fates aren't on your side in this one, Paul.
But, I mean, if you've waited this long, then surely you can wait a little longer, right? Please, I just got promoted. You can't do this to me!
Oh, I'm afraid that I've put far too much work into this to listen to your begs for mercy now, Paul. While you were living your happy life, remarried to my sister, I was busy plotting. I was out gathering evidence, taking photos, calling lawyers until I found just the one that I knew would see you hit the hardest with the book of the law. 3 years is a long, long time. But then again, you would know that, wouldn't you? You were working for this promotion for such a long time. Surely you wouldn't listen to someone who asked you just to wait a bit longer for your promotion since the timing didn't work for them, right? Well, now you can see the position you're putting me in. I'm going to see you and Debbie crushed and buried under your deceit and then leave you with nothing. If you're upset about all of this now, I just hope that in 3 more years you'll finally be able to understand why all of this is your fault and you deserve whatever comes next for the two of you. I heard from my mom and dad that Debbie still hasn't been able to find a suitable donor for her spinal issues. Instead, she's having to use medicine that takes its toll on her body. I also heard one of their piece of news that might have surprised me if it wasn't so predictable. And that was that Paul had cheated on Debbie while she was in the hospital. After I filed my lawsuit against the two of them, rumors began to fly around Paul's work about the kind of husband that he was. When his bosses found out that he had basically chosen his career over his wife, they chose to make an example out of Paul by demoting him and sending him out to work in one of the offices in the countryside. There, far from Debbie, Paul thought that he could get away with cheating on his wife. But somehow or another, Debbie found out, and so Paul ended up getting hit with a second case of infidelity, and that's how he got his second divorce. While I am still refusing to lift a finger to help my selfish sister, I do hope that one day she is able to find a donor for her condition. Either way, I just hope she doesn't learn from my example and walks away with the much better lesson that the best revenge is simply to live a happy life. Speaking of me, I continue with my life after the lawsuit. I continued going to work and eventually even found a boyfriend. I explained to him about my back condition, but he has been so understanding and has never ever tried to use it against me. I'm so happy that I finally found someone who cares about me in a way that I feel I deserve. Perhaps if I found this man earlier, my heart wouldn't have been pulled in the direction that led me to take revenge on Paul and my sister.